I don't speak French. Adieu. I said adieu. I said I don't speak French. Adieu. I said adieu. I said I don't speak French. Adieu.
Hey guys, so today I have with me the vocalist of I Don't Speak French, Adieu. She's super smart, studies at Cambridge, makes music for fun, and I just introduced you for you, I'm sorry. But today I thought we'd talk a bit about how the track came to life, the vocals, etc. And as always, one of the first 500 commenters will get a free mastering from me. But I'll shut up now and let you talk. How and why did you write the vocal?
I originally made the vocal for a party I was going to in Paris. I randomly study at this university where there's a lot of French people, and I hung out with them, I lived with them, and my French is still terrible. So I was invited to one of my best friend's birthday parties, and I thought I would make a song to just kind of shut them up and get them off my back, because I really should be speaking French at this point. So I made the song, and it was I don't speak French. Yeah, you've heard it. And when we were at the party in France, in Paris, I actually didn't dare play the song. I didn't know.
Really?
No, I thought it was, I don't know. Persians, they're quite kind of sophisticated and chic and cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't play this, I can't. And then you picked it up and...
Right, but it was actually released like a year ago or something?
Yeah, it was actually more of a kind of a hip-hop song. And then
It sounds like this.
I came Paris, I wanted to see Eiffel Tower and the Champs-Élysées.
How did you record the vocal?
I recorded it in Tanken in Sandvika in Norway.
Okay.
For
Did you
people
have
who
a
are
beat?
very interested. Sorry?
Did you have a beat already, or?
No, I made it with Kusharan.
Yes?
So I think we made the beat just alongside each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know what microphone you used?
No clue.
Okay, so...
Yeah. Do you know?
No, I have no idea. So anyways, I made this little version of the vocal, sent it to Tiesto, and he loved it, sent it out to all these DJs, and yeah, it was being played everywhere. How is it like? Like, what's it like?
It's really random for me. I'm really lucky. I think it's unfair to like really good vocalists that someone like me made a song as a joke, and you or like Tiesto and Sed are playing it. It's no, it's actually unfair. So yeah, to me it's just random, undeserved, but fun. Yeah.
Oh, you deserve it. She has an amazing voice, and you can check out her socials below. And we're definitely gonna make more music in the future, and I can't wait. So you will definitely see more of her in the future videos.
I'm handing in my master's dissertation in a month.
Good luck.
Thank you. So after that,
you'll have more music. Okay.
you'll hear more from me.
I'm gonna go down to the studio, explain what I did with the vocals and how I produced the break. So stay tuned and say bye to Becca. So now I thought I'd go over the break, explain more of the vocal and so forth. So this track, it's very minimal in the break. It's very simple because I wanted the vocal to really shine through, as that's like the main element, and it's, or at least I think it's a bit funny. So this is how the break sounds.
I came Paris, I wanted to see Eiffel Tower.
Pretty much just the vocal and a bass synth. So let's go over what I did to the vocal. This is how they sounded when I got them.
I came Paris, I wanted to see Eiffel Tower.
So it's a pretty clean recording. I liked it how it sounded. I chopped it up a bit though, which you can't really hear here, but I felt like it worked nicely, but there was some room resonance that you can hear.
I came Paris, I wanted...
Sounds like a delay or something, so I should probably have used like RX or something to cut that out, but I didn't have that at the time, so I did it the getaway, and I just put a transient master on, turned down the sustain so that the words were shorter, snappier, which I liked, and it also took away some of that room sound, which I didn't really like, didn't really fit the mix.
I came Paris, I wanted to see.
So that it sounded like that. What I did next was put a PSP vintage warmer on.
I came Paris. I wanted to see.
Funny thing, I just literally just took up the drive knob a couple of decibels, and I didn't really mess with the settings at all because I just really like the default sound. Just drives it, gives it some grit and warmth. And then I wanted it to have sort of like a vocal delay tape stops, not tape stop, but like a tape delay sounding thing, which just widens it out just a little bit.
I came Paris. I wanted to see.
So it just gives it like that slight slap delay, puts it in a space, but also gives it some like indie character. It sounded really bullshit when I said it, but that's the best way to explain it. I have this really short reverb on.
I came Paris. I wanted to see.
With a quite long pre-delay, not to mess with the vocal itself. For some reason, she has this really harsh resonance.
I came Paris. I wanted to
around 10K, so I just took that down. But other than that, I would usually have cut out a lot more resonances, but I didn't really have to. But that one, I took that one out, and then we have some automated sidechain and filters and stuff like that. And
I came Paris.
yeah, just automation stuff. So that's pretty much it, actually. So the next element was the bass, which is all the way down here. Let's listen to that. I haven't been in this project for like almost a year now, so this is a bit confusing. I think I actually ended up only using one synth sample from the Vengeance Disco, I think, sample pack. It sounds like this. Yeah, and it's pitched down as well, but I felt like it was pretty clean because I wanted something really clean, as I said. And so yeah, I just put on a lot of stuff to make it brighter and make it pop. I wanted something, sounded bassy, but you can easily hear on a phone speaker, for instance. So it was primarily just boosting the highs, cutting the lows. And just a really harsh bit crush. Yeah, pretty simple sound really, but it was a bit funny just how sparse the arrangement was, and you don't really hear that too much nowadays, so felt like it was a bit of a fun thing to do.
I came Paris. I wanted to see Eiffel Tower and the Champs-Élysées, but all I kept hearing was Paris.
So in here, before the next part of the verse starts, you have this string sound coming in slowly.
Champs-Élysées, but
which is actually a sample from somewhere. I don't know where I got this from. It's just a string sample with some 100% room reverb to put it in a huge space and like really far behind in the mix. Some boosting to the sides to make it wide and just like hug the rest of the track. Cut out a lot of the lows, and it sounds like this.
Champs-Élysées, but all I kept hearing.
It's very low in the background. And for the snaps,
All I kept.
some Kashmir snaps right in the middle, and these snaps that it's called Joachim snaps because it's a friend of mine, Joachim, who recorded his snaps, and they just sounded really nice. Panned them each to each side, and it's a sample I use a lot. By the way, you can get all the samples in the link below. And
All I kept hearing was parlez-vous français? I said pardon, monsieur, I don't speak French.
and a little reverb on in there, but nothing fancy going on. A reverse synth going in here, and a reverse impact as well going into impacts.
Monsieur, I don't speak French, adieu.
And to start, get some groove going here in this 4 beat, we have, it's actually the impact no, a synth perk, pitch down, which is going up.
Don't speak French, adieu.
Just to start getting that 4/4 beat in. It's not even pitching, I don't know why I said that. Just has a lot of reverb on and it's just there to have some groove going.
I said I don't speak French, adieu.
Okay, so now we have the weird part here. Okay, I'll explain the rides first. Very simple. Just a sample pitching upwards. It had a really metallic feel, so I thought it fit the rest of the track because I wanted it to be more metallic and.
Adieu.
But yeah, this part here. I had a lot of questions on what the hell that is, and it sounds like a dying dog, but it's actually the string that I used in the previous part. Just like that. That's without any effects. And that's with. So what happened and why is it sounding like that? It's actually a lucky accident, as I always explain it with, because it's primarily true. It is, this time it was the vocal synth, how it sounds without. Oh, and yeah, I pitched it to the melody. So it sounds like that, and with the vocal synth, it sounds like this. I just scrolled through the presets and stumbled across that and changed some small things, but primarily just a lucky accident. I took down the attack because it had a lot of bugs and it was like a lot of tick noises and stuff like that. I had some reverb, long reverb, but pretty dry still. Really harsh distortion to get the groove going already there. And we have this where I cut out some of the resonant frequencies because it was a really harsh sound, and I also boosted the sides to make up for some better space. And here I didn't really do anything. I think maybe I've automated it or something. Took out some of the highs, the lows, and there you are pretty much. And I sampled it to have more control over it and cut it up. So that's that sound, and I bounced it out, put a reverse to it, and that's pretty much it. It was pretty simple sound, but felt like it worked. And over to the build, we have this riser. Again with sidechain to build up some groove. A gong to give it some of that Asian vibe flavor that I love. With also sidechain. Some very simple snares being filtered up. They're actually being aided by these at the end. Which are going in this rhythm, like to not be as straight as usual, and yeah, felt like it fit the melody. And we have this uplifter. It's actually the same one, just one is going down and one is going up. One's going down, this one's going up. With lots of reverb and white noise that is panning around. So this is done manually to match the snares and the rhythms of the snares, which was a pain in the buttocks. We have a reverse crash here. Super simple production actually. It's more of the simple stuff in this one actually. But as I wanted to keep it very, very simple. An impact. And just some weird effect that I found on Splice. And pitched it up a bit, panned it around to give it some movement, but it was just to add some more space to it. I have the bass looping in. Just a standard like repeating and increasing in rate. A bass fill to give it some growly punch. Reverse vocals and some bird noises because I love bird noises. Give it some ambience and the vocal just repeating in a filter like this. Oh wow. Should not have been in that key. Oops. I can't really hear it in the track. But that was a mistake. So, and right before the drop, a little
That I don't speak.
just to make it dry, sort of, an impact and reverse, and we're pretty much good to go. Kick, and that's pretty much it. It's a very simple break, but that's the first break. I'll also go through the second one, which is a bit more interesting. At least I like this part a lot because it has a lot of funny elements to it.
Adieu. Adieu.
I love this part, it's so funny. It has these steel drums that I've talked about in the video on like how I make my tracks interesting. It sounds like this. Just literally me banging some like pans and stuff. And I added some reverb and filter. And it's actually playing the drop as well. But yeah, I have this fat diva-ish, probably diva. Yeah, just the init preset with some distortion and reverb probably. Yeah. And some cutoff filtering here, just to make it move. Just have it move, and we have the drums that are in the drop. Slowly filtering up, so you kind of have the same groove as in the drop in the second break, which I felt like flowed the track nicely further on. And also this one in the background. So I felt like it worked really well arrangement-wise, which is why I like it so much, because I feel like it works very well. A lot of reverses here to make it epic, and yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I have some, again, white noise, just panning around, and the string,
Adieu.
the vocals with dotted delay, like dun 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 dun, giving it some spice, and the snaps that I've spoken about. So it's a pretty quick run through, but I feel like anything more would have been unnecessary. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll give you guys the answers if there's anything you are wondering about how I did something in the track. I'll also go through the mastering real quick, because I've had some more questions regarding mastering, and I thought I'd go through one more example of a track that I've mastered. But this one was mastered like almost a year ago, so it's a bit of an old method. I've updated my method a little bit, but I still feel it works really well for most tracks. So I thought I'd show you guys. What I start with is, what's it called? Balancing out the levels to make the waveform even. Now it's like pretty low here and very high, very, very loud at the drops. So just evened that out, and I also did like a curve towards the drop to have the drop hit harder. So I just had to lower the volume because it was clipping in the recording of the sound to the video. But anyways, what I do is I have first an invisible limiter here.
Adieu.
Just catching some of the worst peaks. which is then feeding into the compressor to make the compressor's job a bit easier, so it doesn't have to deal with these really harsh peaks when it should be focusing on like the whole picture. So I have this imager in isotope. This is without. This is with. I'm sorry if the sound is a bit distorted, because I think I did something wrong, but I think you should get the main picture of how it's done. So I boosted the sides and the highs and made the bottom mono. I also have this exciter. This is without. This is with. Just making the absolute top here, 10K plus, a bit sharper and brighter. And this is an EQ just to balance things out. I would usually boost the bass with this, but because I usually tend to lack a bit of bass, but I didn't in this track because it's a lot of bass. This is without and with. I feel like this one helped a lot because it's boosting the 4K, which for some reason was lacking in my mix, and this is how it sounds if I like gradually boost it. It had like this empty gap there, which I was looking here and I saw it. Usually it would be more noise here, and I also just tested things out and heard that it could use some extra work there. So it's pretty simple. Feeding into this the glue, which I love, and very, very mild settings, but just taming it just a little bit. These two are just to reduce the volume for the video, by the way. Don't mind them. It's just this final one, which is just brick walling everything. And that's a very quick run through of the master. Didn't take more than like a couple hours to get it right. It was pretty simple record to master for some reason, but I thought I'd show you guys regardless. And I hope you enjoyed the video. It's probably a long one. I'm not sure how far we run now, but I'll see you guys next week.